Okay, so part A requires us to calculate the net present value, and for that we need our cash inflows, cash outflows. You have to find net cash flow multiplied by the discount factor to get the discounted net cash flow. Okay, so you start with year 0, then year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5, because they ask you for 5 years. After 5 years, what is the net present value of this company? Okay, so of this project. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is calculate our cash inflows. So let's do the workings for our cash inflows. Okay, so cash inflows, let's identify what the cash inflows are. Okay, so Dubai Foods PLC is considering computerizing its food processing production line. Dubai Foods PLC is considering a proposal put forward by Acme Robotics PLC, who has stated that the cost of the computerized equipment will be 135,000. Okay, that is important information. Why? Because in year 0, that will be our cash outflow. Okay, so the total cost of the project is the cash outflow in year 0. So shall we put the cash outflows on the cash outflows? So there are no cash inflows in the first year, year 0. We have a cash outflow of 135,000, which gives you a net cash flow of 135,000, negative 135,000. The discount factor in the first year is always 1, so the discounted cash flow will be negative 135,000. Okay, why is the discount factor always 1? Because it's year 0. The value of the money has not depreciated yet, so it will be the same value. Okay, let's look at our cash inflows for the year. Okay, so the following information is available. The computerized equipment will give labor savings of 54,000 per year. So in this scenario, do we have cash inflows, or what do we consider to be our cash inflows on this project?
Labor savings.
The labor savings. Okay, so our first cash inflow we have is labor savings. Okay, which is equal to $54,000 per year. Okay, let's go through the others and see if we have any more. Okay, the computerized equipment will have a life of 5 years, after which it will be sold for scrap value of 5,000. Okay, so sale of computer equipment, that's another cash inflow at scrap value, which means $5,000. This will be an inflow in which year? When is it sold?
5th year.
So it is sold in the 5th year, so it will be a cash inflow in the 5th year. Okay, that's simple. Then we have depreciation using the straight line method will be applied. There will be extra cost each year, including depreciation. Okay, so based on this, what I can see is there are no other inflows, so that's pretty much our inflows for the year. So in year 1, what will be our cash inflows? 54,000. Year 2 also 54,000. Up to year 4, it will be 54,000.
Year 5 will be 59,000.
Year 5 will be 59,000, because aside from the cash labor savings of 54,000 a year, we also have the scrap value. So year 5, yes, year 5 we have 54,000 from the labor savings plus 5,000 that we received from selling the computerized equipment, which is equal to $59,000. So in year 5, our cash inflow is $59,000. Okay, now let's look at our cash outflows. Okay, so they have given us cash outflows including depreciation. Okay, that's an important point. Why?
Because depreciation is not a cash You should take it out, right?
Exactly.
Because it's not
So
a cash.
because it's a non-cash
Cash out.
expense, cash outflows including depreciation is given. So remember, since depreciation is a non-cash expense,
You should
it should be removed from our total cost. Since depreciation is a non-cash expense, remove it from our total cost. Remove it from total cost to get cash outflows. Okay, so what are they given us in year 1? How much is the outflows?
42,000.
Outflows including depreciation. So year 1 outflow including depreciation equals how much? $42,000. Okay. Okay, so that means we have to calculate the depreciation and remove that. Okay, so what is the depreciation policy? The computerized equipment will have a life of 5 years, after which it will be sold for 5,000. Depreciation using the straight line method will be applied. So depreciation using the straight line method is simple. Okay, what is the formula? Depreciation under straight line method is cost minus scrap value divided by number of years. Okay, so we'll calculate the depreciation first. The thing about the straight line method is it is the same for every year, so we won't have to rework our depreciation calculation every year. We can use the same amount every year. So what is the cost of this equipment? It says here the cost of the computerized equipment is 135,000. We have a scrap value of 5,000 divided by 5 years. Very good. So we have 130,000 divided by 5 years, which is basically 130 divided by 5, 20, 26,000 per year.
And that you minus it.
Okay, so then year 1 cash outflows will be 42,000 minus 26,000. That gives us 16,000. Am I? Yes, equals 16,000 cash outflow in year 1. Okay, so year 1 outflows 16,000. So year 2, let's do the workings for year 2. Year 2 and 3, the extra cost excluding depreciation will be 5% higher each year than year 1. So it will be 5% higher each year, which means year 3 the cost excluding depreciation will be 5% higher than year 2, and year 2's cost will be 5% higher than year 1. So we had a net
16,000
cash outflows for year 2 will be excluding depreciation. So excluding depreciation, we take year 1's cash outflow, which is 16,000, and we multiply by 105 divided by 100. Okay, so we multiply by 105%, which is how much? Yes, so that is basically 16,000 160 into 105. So 160 into 100 is 16,000 plus 160 into 5 is 0. 16 times 5 is 800. It is 16,800. So year 2 cash outflows are 16,800. It clearly says it's 5% higher excluding depreciation. So we should not take 42,000 and multiply by 5%. We should take the year 1 cash outflow, which is 16,000, and multiply by 5% first. So here 16,800. Next, in year 3, we have to take 16,000 or 16,800. For year 3 cash outflow, we take 16,800. Cash outflow of year 2 into 505%. So that is basically, it has increased by 5%. So that's 16,800 into 1.05, which is 17,640. Wait, I think we made a mistake here. In year 2 and year 3, extra cost excluding depreciation will be 5% higher each year than year 1. Oh, sorry. It will be 16,800 for both years, year 1, year 2 and year 3. Because it says in year 2 and year 3, the extra cost excluding depreciation will be 5% higher each year than year 1. So
it
doesn't say it increases every year. It says both years it will be 5% higher than year 1. So cash outflow in year 2 and year 3 will be 16,800. Okay, then we'll take year 4 and year 5. What does it say about year 4 and year 5? In year 4 and year 5, the extra cost excluding depreciation will be 5% higher each year than year 2 and year 3. So that will be yes. So cash outflow in year 4 and 5, cash outflow in year 4 and 5 will be equal to 16,800 into, so it's 5% higher, which means 1.05, or into 105 over 100. So that will be 17,640. So each year we have outflow 17,640. Okay, so that gives us a net cash flow of, in year 1, in year 1 and year 0, our net cash flow is negative 135. In year 1 we have 38,000, because 54,000 minus 16,000. Then year 2 and 3 we had 37,200. And in year 4 and 5, which is 54,000 minus 17,650.
40.
Year 4 we have 54,000 minus 17,640, which gives us that 6,360. And in year 5 it's 59,000 minus 17,640, which is basically 41,360. Okay, so the next part of our scenario is identifying the discount factor. In this question they are given us a discount factor. However, in scenarios where they haven't given you the discount factor, what you need to take is the cost of capital. Look for the cost of capital, which is 8%, and then go through the table which will be provided for you in order to find the discount factor. So the percentage you take is the cost of capital. So in this case they are given us, so in year 1 what is the discount factor? 0.926. So fill those discount factors in your workings. 0.857 in year 2, 0.794 in year 3, and 0.735 in year 4, and 0.681. What you need to understand with net present value is it adjusts for, we make an adjustment. Now see, we are doing this calculation on figures for year 1, 2, 3 and 4. We are not taking the present value of money into consideration. These figures don't show us the present value of money. So what you need to understand is in year 5, 59,000 will be worth less than what it is worth now. So we have to adjust for the discounting factor, because net present value takes into consideration present value of money, or the fact that the value of money depreciates over time. So that's what we're doing. So all we have to do is take our net cash flow and multiply by the discount factor. So when we multiply 38,000 times 0.926, we get 35,188 in year 1. In year 2 we get
37,200.
31,880.40. Hold on, let me get that straight.
Yeah, 37,200.
Yes, 37,200 into 0.857 is that. So negative first.
880.4.
Okay, so we have 35,000. First year it's 35,188.00. Then we have 31,880.40. Then we have 29,536.80. Then we have 26,724.60 and 28,166.16. Okay, so all we need to do is then solve this. So the total outflows plus all our inflows, we have to see what our net present value is, net cash flow. So the discounted net cash flow will be equal to, we have a positive 16,495.96. What this figure means is that after 5 years this project has saved this company 16,495.96. So how you get that is negative 135 plus each year we have a discounted net cash flow of positive net cash flows, which means we have a positive inflow every year when you consider cost savings, cash savings. So we end of 5 years we have a positive net cash flow, discounted net cash flow 16,495.96. So part B, it's a theory question. Part B, Roman numeral 1. So one advantage of using the net present value. So the question is asking us an advantage and disadvantage of using net present value to assess investment projects. Okay, so the advantage would simply be that net present value takes into consideration the value, time value of money. The fact that money in 5 years will not be worth the same amount it is now. Okay, so the advantage, it takes into account the fall in value of money. It takes into account the fall in value of money. Next part, a disadvantage. A major disadvantage of using net present value is it is very time consuming and takes a lot of calculations into consideration. So one disadvantage of net present, it is time
And it's based on predictions, right?
All project appraisals are based on predictions, so you cannot necessarily take it is a disadvantage, but you have to understand every project appraisal is a, simply put, it is a prediction. Okay, it's all estimates. So the issue with net present value, it is time consuming and takes several calculations into consideration. The issue with taking several calculations into consideration is you are more prone to make mistakes. This kind of seminar takes several calculations into consideration, which can result or which increases the possibilities of making mistakes. Okay, so profitability index, the formula for profitability index, write down. So profitability index equals, it's quite simple, net present value plus cost of investment divided by the cost of investment. So that's quite simple. Net present value is 16,495.96 plus the cost of the investment is 135,000. That divided by cost of investment, which is again 135,000. So 16,495.96 plus 135,000 gives us 151,495.96, which we can simply round off to 151,496 divided by 135,000, which gives you a profitability index of 1.122. So part D is asking us the advantage of calculating the profitability index. It's quite simple. One advantage is it allows you to calculate the returns of different projects and compare them even if the projects are of different sizes and requires different initial investments. What this means is, see, since the formula uses cost of investment and net present value, the numerator is net present value plus cost of investment divided by cost of investment, you can compare different projects irregardless of the size of the project or the fact that they will have a separate cost of investment. It will allow you to compare different projects and select one that is most profitable, which is the entire point of conducting project appraisals, to make a decision on which project will be profitable or not. Question E. Another company, Digital Solutions Limited, are also interested in providing the computerized equipment for the food processing production line. Dubai Foods PLC have considered the offer from Digital Solutions Limited and have calculated the following. Okay, so Digital Solutions Limited has offered the project as well. And based on this, there are two important pieces of information. First is the initial cost of investment is only 80,000 as opposed to 135,000. But the net present value after 5 years is only 12,000. So let's talk about, they're asking us to evaluate. So when we have to evaluate, we have to give points for and points against and a conclusion. So let's go with points for which project? We'll go with Acme, the original project. So points for Acme Robotics. Okay, there's only 1.4. The net present value under Acme Robotics project is 16,495.96, or roughly 16,496. So as opposed to the 12,000 net present value that is provided, that we get from Digital Solutions Limited after 5 years. So the only point for Acme would be the net present value after 5 years is higher by
12,000.
not 12,000, it's higher by 4,496 pounds as opposed, not as opposed, when compared to the net present value of Digital Solutions. Digital Solutions PLC of 12,000 pounds. Okay. So now we'll talk about points for Digital Solutions. Okay, so we will calculate another thing and see what we will do is, okay, one general point for Digital Solutions is quite simple. Without even have to calculate anything, it is simple because the initial cost of investment is 80,000 as opposed to 135,000. In any project, one major thing that you have to consider is cost of capital. The more money that you have to borrow, it is harder. The lesser money you have to borrow, it is much easier to obtain it. So one general point for Digital Solutions is the cost of capital is only 80,000 pounds, which is 55,000 pounds less than the cost of capital required to go ahead with Acme Robotics Acme Robotics project. In general, a lower cost of capital makes it easier to secure the funds. So it's simply put, it's much easier for a company to find 80,000 pounds as opposed to 135,000 pounds. And we look at the profitability index under Digital Solutions offer. So again, profitability index, the formula is net present value plus cost of capital, or cost of capital, cost of investment. Divided by cost of investment.
$1.088.
Which is basically 12,000 plus 80,000 divided by 80,000. Which is how much? 1.15. Okay, so So what you need to understand is 1.15 is higher than 1.122. Understood? So another point for digital solutions is it has a higher profitability index.
Then Acme PLC. No?
Then
Acme Robotics.
and then Acme Robotics. What is our conclusion? As per the conclusion, okay, so if you were to conclude this, they should choose what?
Digital solution.
No, they should choose.
So in Acme
It
Robotics
doesn't
only
matter.
the
It's-
NPV is good, not right?
That's all. You always go with the project with the higher NPV. They should choose Acme Robotics as it has a higher NPV after 5